Hello po! So if I am sitting here in front of you today, it's for two simple reasons. Reason number one, it's observations about the Philippines that I actually forgot to mention in my first video. And the second reason is to address directly the minority that thought that my observations were actually criticisms, okay? But before we start, maligayang pagbabalik sa aking channel. Ako po si Ovela. I'm a sound engineer, beat maker, and content creator on YouTube who intends to live in the Philippines in the near future. Now let's get to it. So let's address the minority that thought I was criticizing the Philippines and not just observing. Let me just tell you clearly and directly that that was not the case, okay? I freaking love the Philippines, and that's why I intend to live in the Philippines, okay? One of the reasons why I want to live in the Philippines is because I love everything about the Philippines. There was only one critique and more like one concern in that first video where I mentioned 20 observations. And the only one was the obesity in the Philippines. I think that's not a good thing, you know, because obesity can be harmful to people, to human beings, right? It can ruin your health. So if there's only one observation / criticism, it would be that one. And that one, I sincerely hope that the government or whatever is gonna try to fix that issue in the Philippines, you know. But all the other things were just observations that I sincerely love about the Philippines and that I wouldn't dare dream change about the Philippines, to be honest. And of course I was comparing to Canada because I lived in Canada for 18 years. So that is my reference. But there in no way I was saying, oh, the way we do it here in Canada is better than the Philippines. I don't even think I said that in the video ever. You know, I was just observing. Let's just pick one observation from my first video as an example, okay? The fact that Filipinos don't use a knife. That doesn't bother me at all, and I think that is very unique to the Philippines, and it's great. It's amazing, you know? And if I go to the Philippines, I will have to adapt to the way Filipinos live, you know? I mean, even things that generally annoy Filipinos themselves, like the heat, you know, the excessive heat, or the traffic that I was gonna mention in this video, those things didn't even bother me, you know, and I was happy to put up with it, if I can say that, because I was really putting up with it. It didn't bother me in the first place. So I honestly loved everything about the Philippines. Now we can move on to my other observations about the Philippines that I did not mention in my first video. So, umbrellas. You know, so Filipinos tend to use umbrellas whether it's raining or whether it's not, because when it's not raining, it's extremely hot, okay? So I've seen people use umbrellas in the city, yes, in Manila, but also in the islands, you know, when I was in Siargao and El Nido. It's normal, it's extremely hot, but it's not necessarily a Filipino thing, because I have noticed people use umbrellas in Vietnam and also in Japan. And Japan is not that hot, and yet they were using umbrellas because I'm guessing they just don't want to get tanned. You know, they do not want to tan. Of course, security guards everywhere, in every mall, even outside. I have so much respect for the security guards that are standing outside in the heat. It must not be easy, man, but they were everywhere in BGC, in you know, like Makati, and like the big safe cities, I guess I could say that. You know, they make you feel safe, the security guards. At first, you question it. You know, you're like, why are there so many security guards? There must be something going on. There must be danger somewhere. But no, that's not the case. They're there to make you feel safe. There are billboards everywhere, you know, with, of course, ads on it, right? A lot of ads, a lot of stars on your billboards. You know, I saw a lot of stars from ABS-CBN. I think I saw some stars from the GMA network as well. You know, actors, singers, hosts like Vice Ganda, you know, like big billboards, you know. And I mention this because, again, the only place I could compare it to is Canada, where I live. And here we have billboards, but not that many, you know, and they're not as big as the billboards in the Philippines. This way of paying for food in certain restaurants, like seriously, I had never experienced this anywhere in the world. It's when I got to the Philippines, and let me tell you about it. So it was two restaurants. There was one in Siargao. So you get there, it's like a buffet style of restaurant. So you get there, you see all the food, and you have to take a plate and just ask the person that's working there to serve you whatever you want, okay? So they give you all the food that you want. And when you get to the end of the line, you are asked to take a picture, okay, of your plate, so that when you are done eating, you can go to the cashier and you show them your picture, you know, the picture, and they see what you ordered, and then they can assess how much you should pay at the end, you know. And that happened to me in two restaurants. So that was very surprising, and I thought that was a very cool way to do things, you know what I'm saying? Traffic. Yes, it is true. The legend is true about traffic being horrendous in the Philippines. But it did not bother me. Because, okay, here in Montreal, the traffic can get bad, but not as bad as in the Philippines. But before I became Canadian, I was and still am Algerian, okay? I lived in Algeria, where the traffic can be horrible as well, okay? Because Algeria is also a developing country, all right? And we also have a lot of bikes and cars. It's too many cars, all right? Like, the streets are not made for that amount of cars, so we end up with a lot of traffic. So since I was used to it, it didn't bother me that much in the Philippines, but I did notice it. So in my mind, like every day, I was busy in Manila. I was very busy. So every day I would take a Grab and go somewhere, you know, to meet people, or like for business or something. So what I would do, I would just, you know, calculate in my head. I was like, okay, I know there is traffic in the Philippines, so I should leave at least 30 minutes before, you know, like I just add 30 minutes or 40 minutes to the time that it would normally take me to get to that place, you know, to the rendezvous, you know. So I was never late, never, and I'm proud of it, okay? I am a very punctual person. So traffic was not a problem for me, but I can understand how it can be annoying to foreigners, but also Filipinos. Like I talk to Filipinos and they complain a lot about traffic, and that's actually the number one excuse for Filipinos that come late, okay? They'll be like, hey man, it's the traffic. So I get it. I have so much respect for these people that I'm about to mention. It's bikers who dress up from head to toe, basically cover their entire body. Look, the Philippines is a very hot country. Seriously, it's so freaking hot, and that's why people use umbrellas, right? And yet, there are bikers who hide their entire body while they are on their bike. So they have the helmet, and they have gloves on, and they're wearing pants and boots and just long sleeves. Oh, how do they do it? They must be dying inside of their outfit, unless they invented a technology that is able to cool you down, like a clothing that is cooling or something. I don't know how they do it, but that was another observation. I knew about this, but I had to see it for myself. Is the fact that Filipinos, I believe, is the only Asian country that does not use chopsticks. And it's so true. So true. Filipinos use a fork and a spoon, and sometimes a knife, sometimes. But they also eat with their hands. It's something that I like to do too, personally. But yeah, they don't use chopsticks because, I visited Japan and Vietnam before I went to the Philippines, and those countries use chopsticks. They don't use, utensils. You actually have to ask them for utensils. But in the Philippines, you have to, they don't even have chopsticks unless you're going to eat at, a Korean place or a Vietnamese restaurant or Japanese restaurant. But otherwise, nope, no chopsticks, Okay, so in my previous video, I mentioned that Filipinos walk slowly. But what I did not say and omitted to say is that it just feels like Filipinos do not move with a purpose. It's almost as if they don't have a specific goal. That's why they walk slowly and very nonchalantly, and they kind of drag their feet, and you can hear their tsinelas on the ground, That's how slow they are about what they do, and just life in the Philippines is slow, And again, I'm not a critic, it's just an observation. I like that things are slower in the Philippines, It's chill vibe. It's a chill vibe, and I think we need that in the world, The fact that Filipinos don't always respect lines. When you are in line for a restaurant or for administration or for something, they don't always respect it. If you're in BGC or like a high class place, they usually do. They respect it. But if you get out of those places, not so much. Like when I was on the islands, right? They don't really respect. Like you have to fight for what you want. You have to fight for your spot. But it's not a bad thing, Usually they do, but not always. And trust me, it's way worse in Algeria. Seriously. Yeah, I also noticed that also in the airport, they don't necessarily respect the lines either. Oh man, this one is the best. Is the fact that Filipino food is fresh and filling. And you know what? Do you know why I added it to this list? It's after coming back to Canada. After coming back to Canada, I felt like I was eating as much as I was eating in the Philippines, or even more, and I did not feel full. In the Philippines, I would eat just a little bit and I would be full very quickly. And the food was fresh, and I think it's because the food is healthy in the Philippines that my body was like, okay, you just ate a good amount, you're good, don't overeat. But here in Canada, I feel like I'm just eating and I feel like I'm not eating anything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, the food in the Philippines is fresh, especially of course the fruits. Oh my gosh, the watermelon, the mangoes, oh my gosh, I miss it so much, so much, seriously. The fact that Filipinos point with their mouths, but I also experienced it in the Philippines while I was there, so I thought I would add it to this list. The fact that Filipinos shower at least twice a day because of how hot it is in the Philippines. You shower in the morning, like every regular person, like most people, I believe, shower in the morning, after they wake up. And they also shower before they go to bed, because if you go out in the Philippines, you will sweat no matter what. Even if there are tons of malls with AC and everything, you will still sweat. You just need to walk under the sun for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you're gonna start sweating, okay? So it's a good idea to take a shower before bed in the Philippines. This is a thing that I thought was funny and odd and just so Filipino. It's these men who are sitting, on the street or in a cafe, singing karaoke or drinking or something, who usually have a nice belly, you know, like a beer belly, and they raise the t-shirt halfway and let the bottom of their stomach, you know, out there breathing, you know, like for everybody to see, so you can see their belly button and everything, you know, like they are proud to show you their big stomachs, you know. That's another thing that I noticed, you know. It's so Filipino, because this is not something that I noticed anywhere else. Even in Algeria, I haven't seen men do that in cafeterias, and God knows our men in Algeria love to drink and talk in cafeterias, right? But no, only in the Philippines. So I'd like to know why they do that. They just, I guess it's because of the heat, right? Like, it's too hot. They just want to let their stomach breathe, I guess. I don't know. And the last and final observation, that's something I guess that's specific to me. I noticed that Filipinas, Pinays, like or even love foreign men, okay? Because I got complimented quite often on the streets. You know, I didn't even look for a compliment, and yet Filipinas would talk to me, would smile at me, would call me handsome out of the blue, you know. And like I mentioned previously as well in another video, that I did date in the Philippines, right? Like using dating apps. And yeah, Filipinas were very favorable to my profile. Let's just say that. Like, I got a lot of matches, all right? So that was my last observation, and I believe that's gonna be my last video about what I noticed in the Philippines. Perhaps in the future, when I live in the Philippines, I will update it, because when you visit the Philippines and live in the Philippines is two different things. You know, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna observe more things in detail when I live in the Philippines, you know. So perhaps I will make more videos about this. So I hope that there is no more confusion about these observations, you know, the fact that they're not criticisms. Seriously, I love everything that I mentioned about the Philippines, like especially today. I have absolutely zero criticism about this. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. One criticism that does not bother me is the traffic. Come on, we can all agree that the traffic can be better, you know, in the Philippines. And hopefully it will be better once they build the subways, you know, in the Philippines. So basically, in both videos that I made, only one criticism. So in this one is the traffic, and in the other one it's the obesity. And I think we can all agree that those two things are not good for anybody, okay? So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Maraming salamat po. And of course, if you found value in this video, do not hesitate to check out my other reaction videos right here.